Hello viewers, hello Zimbabwe. Masquera say. It is a very wonderful day and a very wonderful moment being with you here, where we give you the latest trending news in the nation of Zimbabwe, where we explore what is really happening in our economy, what is really happening around us, in our surroundings, in the political arena. So I've come with this issue where uh, there are talks of bags already pegged. And those are signs of a power shift in the nation of Zimbabwe. So this story was not so clear to me in the past, but it has become clearer as time goes on because I now understand the meaning of the bags already pegged issue. And I've realized that when those things are now happening, it shows that we are getting close to having a change or a shift in terms of power in the nation of Zimbabwe. And that shift is not far from here or from now. A lot of things are happening in the background, and we need to understand what is really happening in Zimbabwe. The political temperature is very high and it's very tense at this moment. A lot of things are happening behind closed doors, and anytime something can happen. So we are talking about ZANU PF losing confidence in the elections, in winning elections in 2023. ZANU PF has already lost confidence in itself. They know or they believe that they are not going to win 2023 elections. That is according to the information or the intelligence on hand. So, Anzina Washington Mongofa, I'm here. Thank you very much for tuning in from Washington. It is a very wonderful day being with you here. Okay, so there is no longer confidence within ZANU PF of winning the elections in 2023. They have lost the whole confidence. The whole ZANU PF no longer believe that they are going to win the elections. So they have employed what we call last resort tactics. You have seen that I'm losing the battle. You have seen that I'm losing to my rival. You have observed that there is no chance for you to win or to come back. And the only way is to make sure that you employ last resort tactics. And those last resort tactics are ways of trying to delay or to derail the actual struggle or the course of the struggle in a bid to try and change things, in a bid to try and maintain your position. That is what is happening right now. It's no longer an issue of winning an election. It is now an issue of trying by all means to derail the struggle ahead, trying to stop the necessary change which is about to happen, the imminent change which is about to happen. This is the reason why you have seen abductions, violence, torture, intimidation. Those are clear signs of desperation. When did we last see those things happening rapidly? It was in 2008. So in 2008, they employed the same tactics. And right now, they've begun or they're planning to employ those tactics at a very big rate or at a higher margin or at a higher rate. That is their plan. So whenever you see people employing abductions, employing violence, tortures, intimidation, murder, those are signs of desperation, not only desperation, but signs of fear. So I always give people an example of if you go into the jungle, there are male lions. And there are two issues here I need you to understand. So when a male lion is roaring during the night, it is not roaring just because it's pleasure to do so. It's because it wants to intimidate other lions. It wants to intimidate other lions because normally other lions invade territories at night. So when it is roaring, it is trying to intimidate other lions from other tribes so that they don't come and invade and take over the families. So lions goes around their territory, noise, in a way to try and intimidate. So the second scenario is when a male lion, which is a bigger lion, feels that I'm now threatened by the younger lion, what it does is that it in a bid to try and chase them away so that they go and invade other tribes. But the problem is when the younger lion resists. The problem comes when the younger lion resists. This is the scenario I am giving you about Zimbabwe. So we have a male big lion which is trying to stand its ground by intimidating the emerging stronger young lion. The question is, what will happen if the younger lion retaliates and overpowers the bigger lion? There is an answer there. That scenario is about to happen. For long, this bigger lion is taken advantage. It has flexed its muscles over the younger lions. What is going to happen if the younger lion stands up and with the help or the support of the other smaller or younger lion and other female lions, what is going to happen if they all stand against the bigger lion? That is a question we need to understand very well and find an answer, because that is going to happen. So there is a fear of holding an election. In 2023, probably, we might not have an election. That is what they are planning. But the question is, what will happen next? Because the younger lion is not just going to watch and see things happening. It will retaliate. So the reason why you have seen civil servants being punished, civil servants, they are being punished. That is point number 2. They are being punished, systematically punished. The reason is not normal. They know very well that civil servants are key in terms of service delivery for a government, in terms of a functional government. A government without a strong civil service will never stand, will never survive. And that is happening in Zimbabwe right now because the civil service is disenfranchised. They are no longer serving. They are no longer putting their efforts to assist the economy to grow. There is massive corruption because they are being given peanuts. There is massive incompetence. They are no longer reporting for duty. All times they are running away from duty. They are always on strike. They are demotivated. Why have they created such a situation? They know very well that they don't have any prospect of going forward or going from 2023 to Richenda Kumberi. They know very well that there are no prospects. And they're now trying to punish the civil service. They're now trying to collapse what is there. Because when civil servants are not normally working, and when you create chaos, it means the records, the government records will be in shambles. They won't be properly documented. That is a point which a lot of people are missing. So if you go to the government offices and investigate, you will see that a lot of records are not in a good shape. That is deliberately created so as to make it difficult for the next government to quickly see what was happening behind the closed doors and behind the closed curtains. It means if there was looting, it will take time for you to identify what was looted, how it was looted, and when it was looted. It will take time because the records have been distorted because workers are angry and workers are not putting all their best. So that is deliberate. And you have seen that no sane person will punish the people who are supposed to implement his policies. The ZANU PF government comes with policies and they hand over those policies to the civil service through the minister. And if the civil service is not paid well, how do you expect them to implement those policies? It means that there is a clear, deliberate act to sabotage the economy. But the idea is to loot and leave no traces. That is the idea. So if there is somebody who is wise, you need to go and check or look on those issues which I am highlighting right now. When I saw these issues in the past, I didn't understand them very well. But I now realize the plan. I have now seen how it is working. So, number 3, they are now looting publicly. Publicly looting. You look at what is being done by July Mall. That is not normal. 55 million charged on my trucks. 55 million plus. Yet they are supposed to be 12 million. And the balance has been looted. 10 million paid for pumps, yet they're supposed to cost 2-point-something million. Almost 8 million, 7 to 8 million looted. Go to the Pomona deal. Millions looted. That is how they are now operating. That is how they are now operating. Because in a month, they are pocketing over 1 million for doing nothing. In a month, it's over 1 million. So check the rate of how they are looting and nothing is happening. Henrietta Rushkwai, being caught with 6 kgs gold at Harare International Airport, now Arajimga. Over 300,000. The other person, Masinire, being caught by OR Tambo International Airport, 14 kgs gold. And if you add, that is 20 kgs gold on 2 occasions. Nothing happens. It shows that this is now a systematic looting method, now being employed by people with no hope to win elections in 2023. Look at Mthuli Ncube. His family is not in Zimbabwe. Look at Nick Mangwana. His family is not in Zimbabwe. They are all others in Switzerland, others in UK. Look at all the leaders, the OPAs, whoever lead, the ministers we have, their kids are living outside Zimbabwe. Why have they done so? They are making sure that they have created safer havens for themselves. Kana chikango chaya chete, takaenda, tichenda kumabase. They've created what they call mabase. Takaenda, vakangurowa chete, vakangobviswa chete, takaenda. That is the idea. And it is being systematically, slowly implemented. And we must open our eyes, we must shine our eyes. Their kids no longer stay in Zimbabwe, they no longer learn in Zimbabwe, they no longer receive treatment in Zimbabwe. They no longer run businesses in Zimbabwe, except those who are running mine, because the mineral, you cannot go kusina mineral, you have to run the minerals here, where they have to run the companies here, kunema minerals are. Those are the only people who are running proper businesses. Why are they doing so? It's because they are mobilizing resources. Quitra Tobo. Why? Bags have been pegged already. We must diligently watch and see so that we close the borders in time. I'm telling the truth. Borders must be closed in time because we cannot lose the resources and the people who looted. We will lose the resources, but we will not lose the people who looted. So whoever is going to be the next president must close the borders as the first thing. So they no longer have hope in Zimbabwe. Check how Mthuli is operating in Kuku Finance Ministry. There are no policies. Check how Mangudika is operating in Inongori command chakati, no clear policies, whatsoever. Even Kudai Mutisi aka acknowledge ZANU PF activist Murakash aka acknowledge akataura chokwadaro mashaya kana ma policies. ZANU PF supporters are speaking out with mashaya rema policies. It's not because they don't know what to do. They know what to do, but they know very well that the temperatures are high, and they know very well that there is no longer time for them. So this is a deliberate act to collapse everything and run away. It's a deliberate act. That is the reason why we don't have a sound fiscal policy and a sound monetary policy, a sound agricultural policy, a sound health policy, a sound education policy. We no longer have them because of that. It's because these guys, they have packed bags. Muna peka my bag is very stubborn. Muna kwenda is very stubborn. Very, very stubborn. Tarisai mone behavior netwa nima form 4 kana vakunyora nima form 6. They know very well that we are going. And they begin to be stubborn. They begin to misbehave. That is the same behavior now being employed, being deployed by the system. Because somebody who wants to stay in power know very well that you need to do the right thing. Know very well that the amount of looting and incompetence and mismanagement must be very low. But these levels we've seen in Zimbabwe, they are very alarming and they speak a lot. So you can actually see that they are now employing what we call face powder politics and face powder policies, sugar coating policies. That is the tactic they've employed. Face powder a policy is a policy where it is not a permanent solution. It is something where you are just faking yourself. If you put face powder, you just pretend not to have pimples. And everybody who sees you will say, this person does not have pimples, does have a smooth skin. But if you wash that face, you will be surprised to see what is behind it. That is what they've done. They're just running face powder gimmicks, face powder economics, because they know very well they need to go hit and run. So the reason why you have seen a shift in Jonathan Moy is because there is something brewing somewhere. Something is brewing somewhere. That is the reason why you have seen a shift from Jonathan Moyo, and he has begun systematic attacks on Nelson Chamisa. That is deliberate. People does that. When they realize that there are prospects, very close prospects. Because what I saw Grace Mugabe attending a funeral, a high-profile funeral, and she had bodyguards with her, and she was accompanied by Bona Mugabe. And later on, I saw Emmerson Mnangagwa addressing a rally. And after that rally, Xavier Kasukwere was left at that rally. But what shocked me is that half of the people who were being addressed by Emmerson Mnangagwa left, and Xavier Kasukwere was left addressing a few persons or a few people from the people who were addressed already by Emmerson Mnangagwa. Emerson, hear me clearly. Emmerson Mnangagwa was addressing a rally. Xavier Kasukwere came and took over or began addressing that rally after ED was addressing the rally. So that is the situation. I don't have an interpretation of that situation, but it's just a situation. And it needs wisdom. It needs people who pray to understand what is happening. It needs people to understand. But what I saw clearly was that he ended up addressing very few people. Very few people. Very few people. So other people are saying Nelson Chamisa will not stand the ground. Yana Sevia Kasukwe. And that should give you another thought. So you can actually see that at a later stage, I saw him trying to get into the location, but he was wearing casual wear. Then at a later stage, he then went on and changed and was now wearing a suit and was now walking in the streets. So that alone shows that something is brewing somewhere. And anytime from now, it's likely that we might see something happen because the bags are already packed. There is no hope of resuscitating the economy of Zimbabwe. No hope at all. So G40 takeover is imminent because the reason why, if you look what is happening behind the scenes and how the G40 element has begun abandoning Nelson Chamisa, something. But it's not a threat to the people of Zimbabwe because there is no way, there is only one way to prosperity. There is one way to a prosperous Zimbabwe. It's Nelson Chamisa. That is the only way to a prosperous Zimbabwe. He's the only person with a know-how on how to bring back Zimbabwe to its feet or on its feet. So whatever is going to happen, it must involve Nelson Chamisa as the leader. If it doesn't involve Nelson Chamisa in the key decision-making processes, we are not going to have a prosperous Zimbabwe. So let's register to vote. Takamira 2023, because whatever way victory is coming and whatever way change is coming to Zimbabwe. So we speak these things because people should know and people should pray that some other things should not happen in between. We must pray so that some other things don't happen in between. So the problem we have right now is smaller than the problems we might have ahead if we don't pray. So let's just pray so that God assists us, God helps us, and God helps us to sail through. So Team Zimbabwe, change is coming. All we need is to make sure that we understand that the bags are pegged. And this team, from all the things I mentioned, they show very well that these guys are no longer interested in resuscitating the economy. They are no longer interested in running Zimbabwe properly. They are trying, what they are doing right now, they are just trying to survive. They are saying, let's see if we can survive this. Let's see if we can survive this. So they are trying to postpone the elections. This is the reason why you have seen people like Nigel Chanakira calling up Nelson Chamisa Kupi, Nelson Chamisa Kupi, Gauye on board Panevangwe. Have you ever called President Emerson Mnangagwa to be inclusive? Have you ever called President Emerson Mnangagwa to arrest the corrupt people? No. But you are calling for Nelson Chamisa to come on board. On board which ship? A corrupt ship. You cannot call somebody who is upright to come and sit in a nation, in a government, in a I'm speaking the truth here. Advocate Nelson Chamisa, wenda kunoshanda nevanhu vakapfugamira chidhori. That will be the end of him. That will be the end of his career politically. Once you join hands with criminals, madziyamoto embavha yatoambavha. So we have lost connection, but I'm glad that I am back. Okay, now Mr. Isaiah told change is coming soon. Yes, I agree with you. Change is coming, and you need to prepare for change because there is no other way. There is no alternative. Change is coming, and let's pray. Let's pray. That is our role. Let's register to vote. Let's pray because there are other things which we might talk spiritual. There are other plans which we might talk spiritual. Let's work to make sure that we stop them because we don't want this change to come at the expense of bloodshed, at the expense of lives of innocent people. We have never stolen from anybody. Let's pray for that. That is our role. That is our responsibility. That is to pray for change. That is to pray for the safety of our people, so that our people don't get murdered, so that God sends His angel to protect the people. That is what is very important. People need to be protected by God, and we need to pray for that protection, for that divine immunity. Once you have divine immunity, you'll be saved by God. When they plan, something will happen, it will derail them. They will say, let's plan tomorrow. Something will happen again. They say, let's plan tomorrow. That is what we need to implement, but we implement it through prayer. So thank you very much for tuning in, and we have a lot of work to do up to 2023. If we are alive and if God permits, we are going to continue with our live series, and we are not going to stop anytime soon, and nothing is going to stop us except death or any other. Maybe we are not in a position to come live, but so long I am in a position to come live, so long I'm healthy, so long I'm alive, I've committed myself to the struggle. I will continue to come live, and I'll continue to make sure that I spare my time to come live to talk to the people. So we have a very special guest in the evening with Advocate Talent Rusere, 7 p.m. in the evening. Advocate Talent Rusere will be live on this platform, and we need to embrace him. We need to prepare. We need to be with him. So it will be a very, very, very powerful discussion. You have never seen such kind of a discussion because I know Mkomana Choma gets. So we need to be prepared for that interview, for that discussion. It is a discussion per se. So we need to be prepared for it because it is going to shape how the youth of Zimbabwe should think, should behave, and should be focused on. A nation building is not done by one person. Each and every person must take responsibility, and you have to take your own responsibility, so as I take my own responsibility. That is what we need to do. And a new Zimbabwe is coming, a new great Zimbabwe is coming. Let's pray for Advocate Nelson Chamisa so that God continues to protect him, God continues to give him wisdom, and continues to speak to him. So let's meet in the evening, Kijitaura, an advocate.